by National Sport Council, National Youth Council, NYSS, NADI, and Independent Stadium, respectively, than any other business. Can somebody move that we adopt the agenda proposed with or without amendment? It has been moved by Honorable Cham that we adopt the agenda without amendment. Can somebody second Honorable Cham, part 2? And seconded. Those in favor, please say aye. And those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. On that note, the agenda for today's meeting with National Sport Council stands adopted. Now we will proceed with the second item of the agenda, that is administration of affirmations by the clerk. It is procedural that any official that's supposed to give evidence before this committee will undergo an affirmation that will be administered by the clerk of the committee. I'm not sure whether all the officials who are here present during the process will oblige to be given evidence before the committee. If that's so, that means we are all expected to take the affirmation. And the clerk can kindly proceed and then administer the affirmation. Yeah. Okay. The clerk is coming over. You may stand up and raise your hand, one of your hands, either left or right? Right hand. Do you have mic there? Put it on.
Right, left. I, Marcel Mendy, do hereby affirm that I will speak the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you. Next.
I, Mr. Malang S. Konyura, do hereby affirm that I will speak the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Board care.
I, Lamin Jawara.
Your hand up.
I, Lamin Jawara, do hereby affirm that I will speak the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me, Allah.
Any other official that's supposed to give?
I, Mahmoud Lamin Jawla, do hereby affirm that I will speak the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Any other? If you think in one way or the other you may intervene to do any clarification, you are obliged to take the affirmation.
I, Khadija Bukoli, hereby affirm that I will speak the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me God. I, Khan Ture, hereby affirm that I will speak the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So help me.
Good. Now, having undergone the administration of the affirmations, we may proceed with the meeting, but before we get to the main item of the meeting, that is the presentation of the reports, may I, in the first place, begin by the introduction that will be administered individually from the members, our subject matter specialists, the accountant general, and the auditor general, the officials from National Sport Council, and our clerks, respectively. You are all to introduce yourselves to the committee. To begin with my humble self, Alhaji Esdabo, the chairperson of the committee, Honorable
Good morning. I am Mahmoud Lamin Jawara.
Good morning. I am Lamin Jawara, Chairman of the National Sports Council.
I am the executive director.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Mr. Malang Escondura, private company manager.
Private sector program manager, national. Good morning, Haji Abdullah Ojan.
You have a special report to give. Good.
Yes, you know him.
Is that all?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, members and the various officials, for the introduction. We will proceed with the main item of the agenda, that is the presentations. The presentation will be on this fold. First, the activity report, the financial statements, the auditor report, and the compliance report of the GPPA. We requested that during the briefing, this time around the format has changed. All institutions or agencies, their financial statements are to be, and the annual activity reports are to be submitted to Fpac. With that arrangement, we first inquire that you are expected to present or submit to Fpac all the reports from 2016 to 2020 that were not previously treated by the committee that you used to be under. In the event that particular year you are affected, that means you are obliged to submit those reports that are concerned. In your case, I would like to know which of the years that you are affected from 2016 to 2020 that you are entitled to submit to this committee. And I would like the executive director to respond to that.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair. We have only 2019 and 2020 as outstanding.
The outstanding reports to be submitted so far, according to you, is 2019 and 2020.
Yeah, we had already done for the rest of them, except for 2019.
Late
2020.
2019 and 2020.
Yeah.
Good.
Of course, 2021 as well.
2021, but we requested only 16 to 20. That means we are to submit 2019 and 2020. Okay, that means we'll begin with 2020. Then when we are done with that, now we can continue with 2020 as well. 2019, then we can continue with 2020. I'm not very sure. It appears before us, the hard copies that are available is only 2019. So I don't know what happened to the 2020.
Yeah, I was going to say that even before I start presenting, I was going to say that the 2020 reports are being finalized, but we have the 2019, and that is what we had shared with the committee.
Okay, we will not get to the nitty-gritty of that explanation until when we get to 2020 proper. Can we begin with the 2019 reports?
Thank you.
As I said, the first one is the activity report that will be presented by the chairperson of the board or to whom he may delegate to. And then from the annual activity report, the financial statement, the auditor's report, and then the compliance report. This will be the mode of the presentation.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chairman. I want to delegate the executive director to give the activity reports.
Executive Director.
Thank you. If you have your reports with you, you will see on page 4 sources of funding, policy documents, institutional mandate.
Sorry, may I draw your attention that since we have the copy of the report, just give us the summary of the...
Okay. In fact, that is what I had wanted to suggest. So we can start from page 7.
Page
7.
Okay.
The year 2019 witnessed the allocation of offices to some identified national sport associations. The Sport Council realized at the time that national sport associations, only a few of them had offices. Some of them work from their president's offices or the president's houses, secretary general's houses. So we were able to arrange with the Independent Stadium to get offices for some associations. You can see the list of them, and this was done. And since then, those associations have been working from those offices, and it's been going on very well. It also afforded the National Sport Council the opportunity to even get closer to them, so that we can even monitor them easily, because the offices are located at the Independent Stadium. Going further to page 8, in the same year, the National Sport Council organized what we call capacity building for regional sport committees and stakeholders. This was a training that we did, and we moved from one region to another, conducting training programs for regional sport committees, but also stakeholders in all the regions of the country. The feedback that we got was very encouraging. As part of the objectives of the training was to increase the understanding of participants on the National Sport Council Act, introduce participants to monitoring and evaluation strategies, introduce new National Sport Bill, which is to replace the National Sport Council Act, to improve on the ability to overcome challenges that stakeholders are faced with in the discharge of their responsibilities. Going further to page 9, you will see on the athletics, this was a very active year for athletics. Members of the Athletics Association attended some meetings, some fora within the region. The athletes as well were involved in some competitions, like you will see there, Gina Bass winning the 200 meters gold medal and silver medal in the 100 meters, becoming the African champion. But then also in the process breaking 2 national records. Further down, I am happy to inform you, probably because they were inspired by our allocation of offices to them, the GAA was able to construct an office, and they had since moved into that office. It is just next to the Independence Stadium. On page 10, you will see some of the challenges, constraints, but then because I want to save more time, so we'll go straight to the next one, which is the African Under-18, Under-20 Championship that was held in Abidjan, Ivory Coast. The athletes represented the Gambia there through the support of the Ministry of Youth and Sport, of course, the National Sport Council, through the National Sport Council. And you will see on the table there how well the Gambian athletes did. For instance, Lamin Ba there winning the 400 meters. Idrissa Marang as well winning bronze in the 800 meters, and the list goes on. On page 11, you will see the results of the Gambian athletes who participated at the All African Games that was held in Rabat. This again was as a result of the support of government through the National Sport Council, funding their tickets, their allowances as well. In France, the same year, Ibrahim Kamara, some athletes of the Gambia, Ibrahim Kamara, Hassan Faye, Ali Jus, as well, were participated in some competitions and did extremely well, improving on their personal best times. On page 13, honorable members, the Gambia Handball Association participated in a biannual zonal competition. This was held in Mauritania, and again was funded by the ministry through the National Sport Council. Some of the countries that took part in this competition, you will see there, the Gambia, Mauritania, Sierra Leone, Senegal, and Togo. The Gambian team did extremely well. On page 14, this has to do with the commencement of the league. The league was very successful. It happened at least without much hitches. So we are happy that we have started having a league start and finish in peace. You will see there on page 15 the clubs that participated in the handball league. That is for the male and as well the female clubs that participated. For the male category, there were 9 clubs that participated in that year's league season, and for the females, there were 5 clubs that participated. Further down, you will see the Gambia Paralympic Committee being involved in some parasport. This as well was sponsored or funded by the Ministry of Youth and Sport through the National Sport Council, but also their counterparts in UEA as well also supported Demba Jaju and Malang Tamba, who participated in these competitions and finished 4th with some very good timings. On page 16, honorable members, the Gambia Cycling Association participated in some competitions. A big team of cyclists participated in the 3rd edition of the Eco Cycling Tour that actually took place in Nigeria. The National Interdepartmental Sport Association, NISA, as well, had a very busy year in the year of 2019. They have their competitions, and 20 institutions participated in the 11th edition of the Football Championship. You will see the list of institutions that participated in that year's championship. The tournament went smoothly from start to end without any major hitches. The finalists were the Gambia Armed Forces and the National Drug Enforcement Agency, with the GAF team emerging as winners. The Gambia Pentathlon Association. This was actually established in the year 2014, but completed her registration status in the year 2019 with the National Sport Council. Pentathlon, of course, you may wish to know, is an Olympic sport. They have their branches in Banjul, KMC, West Coast Region, North Bank Region, LRR, and GRR. It's actually one of the requirements for sport bodies to be registered by the National Sport Council as national sport bodies. They need to have, they need to operate not only within Banjul and KM, but as well they have to have some regional presence. Further down on the same page, the Gambia Chess Association, as part of their constitutional mandate, held an annual general meeting which was held in September 2019. All the registered clubs took part in this. There was the usual presentation of reports, and all of them were duly adopted by the members. There was also the National Championship, which was held in October, in the following categories. The Male Championship, Senior category, these were the participants. Jalamang won the crown, while the Junior category was won by Matthew Assis. There was also, as part of requirements for sport bodies to be registered and recognized by the Sport Council, the need for national sport associations to have what we call school sports. The Chess Association launched what they called chess in schools. And since then, chess has been happening in our schools, well, in some schools, and it's been going on very well. The Gambia Boxing Association, honorable members, after a long-standing division amongst the boxing members of the association, the NSC convened some meetings and was able to bring together the parties and was able to convince them to hold an election. This actually happened very peacefully on Sunday, March 3rd, 2019, at the Independence Stadium, with all the stakeholders coming on board. The Deputy Executive Director of the National Sport Council was there to represent the NSC, and below you will see those that were elected at the said election. On page 19, the Gambia Basketball Association. Honorable members, the Gambia Basketball Association membership filed a petition against the executive of the association, claiming, among other things, the following allegations. However, the executive denied all the claims but agreed that there was no AGM held during the years that were mentioned. Following this, there was a lot of consultation, a lot of meetings here and there that were convened by the National Sport Council with a view to ensuring that there was an amicable resolution to the issues. Eventually, there was an election, but then even with that too, there were some complaints by some clubs that they were not invited. Again, we intervened, and eventually all those that were supposed to attend the Congress attended. There was also an adoptive Congress of the same association, at which the draft constitution of the association was adopted by the members. The Gambia Cricket Association, honorable members, the sport of cricket at the time had a lot of issues. They also had, the stakeholders had some problems with the executive. They felt the executive wasn't doing it in their interest. But then again, the Sport Council intervened, and there was the constitution of the association was reviewed. It was eventually adopted, but then again leading to an elective Congress. All of these actually happened, even though it was tough, but we are happy to report that all of them eventually happened and were successful. On page 21, the Judo Association. Like other associations, the Gambia Judo Association had a rough year trying to meet all the planned activities for the year under review. However, it is worthy to mention here that some of the accomplishments planned, some of the activities planned for the year were actually accomplished. Amongst them was some training programs that the association had planned. They also held some competitions in which some Gambian athletes attended, amongst them Abu Bakar, Omar, Khoja, Hassan, Maimuna, Alex Ponjai. There was also a club inspection with a view to ensuring that the clubs that register are indeed clubs and not just ghost clubs that will only come or only surface when there is an election. There was also that inspection to ascertain the existence of the clubs. There was also a media outreach, and this too was quite successful. Honorable members, going further down is the All Africa Games that was held in Morocco. The 12th All Africa Games was held from the 19th to 31st August 2019 in Rabat, Morocco. This was the first time that the African Games was held or hosted by Morocco. In this too, there was a delegation comprising the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sport, the Deputy Permanent Secretary, the Deputy Executive Director of the National Sport Council, and a host of others who attended the event from the Gambia. The members there took part in the opening ceremony and as well the competitions that followed. I'm sure if you read through, you will see the results and the outcomes of that. Some of the challenges, honorable members, ladies and gentlemen, despite the successes achieved at the just concluded African Games in Rabat, the Gambian contingent, like any other contingent, had faced some challenges. Below are some of the challenges that were faced by the Gambian contingent in the All Africa Games held in Rabat. Inadequate training jail for the athletes, the entire delegation traveling in staggered form. It was difficult. Unfortunately, the entire delegation could not travel in one plane. Some went before the others. Inadequate allowances for coaches and athletes. Below are some of the recommendations. We, in our opinion, think if these are done, probably things will improve. It's a list of them, so I want to skip that. The Senegambia Run for Integration. This was also meant to bring together or to cement the relationships between the Gambia and Senegal, and the Ministry of Youth and Sport through the National Sport Council partly funded the event, but also took part in the organization of the entire event. On page 27, the regional sport committees, and that starts with the URR. The visit of the National Sport Council to the Governor and Sport stakeholders of URR from the 28th to 30th January 2019. Like you can see from your reports, this visit took place with a view to discussing and bringing to an end the deep-rooted but long-standing dispute amongst sports stakeholders in URR. I regret to inform this body that until now, we have not been able to totally resolve this issue in URR. Of course, it seemingly simmered down though, but I can tell you for free that the issues are still there. On page 28, you can see the people that actually attended that meeting that was held when we went there. constraints, Honorable Chair, Honorable Members. Despite the achievements registered by the National Sport Council, well, that should read 2019, they were not without constraints. During the period under review, the NSC have been beset by a number of constraints. Amongst them, the insufficient monthly subvention of the council has greatly affected the operations of the NSC, as it cannot meet the cost of certain important activities and the increasing demand of the young people of the country. This forced the NSC to depend on more project-funded activities. There has been a plot of land allocated to the National Sport Council, meant to be the secretariat of the National Sport Council. This report actually was prepared in 2019, but I can tell you until now, 2022, we have not even been able to fence that plot of land. Not too long ago, we got some information, even though unconfirmed, that there are plans even to take over that piece of land. Honorable members, we would kindly request the intervention of this August body so that we are able to develop that land in order for us to be able to move out of the Independence Stadium, which is not very conducive to work from. The third challenge, honorable members, for the year under review was the poor or dilapidated state of sport infrastructure. There is no way, I'm sure you will agree with me, that we can achieve what we want to achieve in our sport if we don't have the sport facilities, if we don't have the infrastructure. And the state of our infrastructure has left a lot to be desired. The financial or limited financial resources to support national sport associations. The National Sport Council, government through the Ministry of Youth and Sport, has always and has continued to support national sport associations. However, the demand is too high, so much so that sometimes what is available cannot fund programs of national sport associations. Unfortunately, until now, there is no swimming facility to train beginners and amateurs. We don't have in this country an Olympic swimming pool. When our swimmers want to practice, they either go to the seas or probably go to private swimming pools. And swimming, of course, I'm sure some of us know, is an Olympic sport, and we would want to participate there and do well and raise the Gambian flag. But we may not be able to do well if we don't have the facilities. In fact, I remember there was a time we had to send some athletes to Senegal for them to undergo some training because we don't have the facilities back home. Recommendations, Honorable Chair, Honorable Members. Cognizant of the aforementioned constraints, the following recommendations are being put forward for consideration. The National Sport Council should embark on fundraising activities as both national and local. This will help to boost the income of the council to enable it be able to support sport development related programs. For the council to function effectively and consolidate its gains, an office should be built and transportation should be made available to ease its operations. Honorable Chair, Honorable Members, as I speak to you, I'm sure if you, from the start of the report, you will see the mandate of the National Sport Council, the coverage of the Sport Council. As I speak to you, the National Sport Council has only one roadworthy vehicle, only one. I mean, that makes it extremely difficult for the Sport Council to execute her duties. I remember very well, Seka, was it 2019? 2019? When we went to conduct some of the elections for the regional sport committees, we had to go in Gilligilis to travel to NBR to do this. We had to go on the GTSC bus to go to LRR to conduct their congresses. I mean, URR as well. I mean, you know, this is very inconvenient. But this is what we've been going through until when we got that NSC 1, and that has helped. But I can tell you, it is still very, very difficult for us at the Sport Council until now, because like I said, we have only one roadworthy vehicle. The subvention of the NEC, in our opinion, should be increased, and effort should be made to ensure that the approved subvention of the council for the year is available to the National Sport Council for the fulfillment of her programs and activities. Unfortunately, honorable members, sometimes when we have approvals for the year, that is from the beginning of the year or probably at the end of the year for the beginning, in December you find out that sometimes you only receive about half of that or probably 3/4 of that. That makes life extremely difficult for us to be able to do certain things, to be able to do what we want to do. The Sport Council is such that it should be able to build the capacity of the people or sport stakeholders, but also help athletes, help sport associations, help regional sport committees. But without the financial muscle, it may be extremely difficult to be able to do that. Effort we made to provide the NSC with at least 2 roadworthy vehicles. I had mentioned the issue of the e-vehicle already. Mr. Chair, honorable members, in conclusion, as we report on the activities of the year under review, we look forward to presenting the report for issued read 2020 with challenges due to prevalence of the COVID-19 pandemic and fewer successes as compared to the previous years. However, in order for us to achieve this noble task, we have said ourselves, we will require the support of all stakeholders, particularly central government and the private sector. We resolve to work tirelessly and with unrelenting commitment with a view to moving our sport to another level and to attain excellence and national glory. To all our partners in development, we once again say thank you very much. Thank you, Honorable.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Director, when we move to the presentation on the financial statements by the Finance Director.
Good morning once again. I'm coming to read the financial statement for the year 2019. First of all, the National Sports Council statement.
To the page.
Yeah, from there, that is first, the page 8 first. Yes, page 8.
Okay.
Yeah, National Sports Council statement of receipts and the payments for the year ended 31st of December 2019. Are you true?
Yeah, we're there.
Okay, receipts, government subvention, that of 2019, 177.28, that of 2019. 2018, we have $3,264,119.99 buttons. Government transfer, $3,524,500, 2019, and the 2018 is $6,335,216.67 buttons. Loan received, that is 1/6, 20,349.00, 2019, and the 2020 was 15,349.00. Summer camp, we have 0. We don't spend anything on summer camp, that of 2019. The 2018, we have spent 10,000, that of summer camp. Year funding, we don't spend anything on year funding in 2019, and that of 2018, we have spent $82,212.52 buttons. Total receipt, that is a $7,012,026.26 budget. That of 2019. 2018 is $9,706,889.18. Okay, salary payments. That of the salaries. Salaries in 2019 we have spent 1,262,186.38. In 2018, 971,067.83. Well, 2019 we spent 130,000, and the 2018 is 128,000. Maintenance of equipment, 3,000. 2019 we spent 3,880, and that of 2018 we spent 37,460.00. Traveling expenses, 2019 we have spent 1,113,683.00, and in 2018 we spent 871,527.00. Staff entertainment, 2019 we have spent $69,608.10, and that of the 2018 we did not spend anything. That is 00. Miscellaneous office expenses, 2019 we have spent 52,070, and that of 2018 we spent only 3,500. And stationery expenses, we spent $33,095 in 2019, and that of $31,250 in 2018. Utility expenses in bracket cash power, we spent $95,000 in 2019 and $36,000 in 2018. Total telecommunication expenses, we spent $105,000 in 2019, and also the 2018 we spent $77,969.22 budgets. Support to the national sporting associations. In 2019, we have spent we spent 100 support to the national association. We have spent 1,714,360 in 2019, and also 2018 $4,198,775.00. As you can see, the list goes on. From your statement, please.
Sorry,
So-
can you give us the subtotals?
Okay, the subtotal here, if you look at it, the total P, that of this 2019 is 7,241,328.95, that of 2018, and the 2019 is 9,003,598.61, and the surplus deficiency is minus 237,302.69, that of 2019, and the 2018 is 703,299.57. The opening balance is 592,294.97, 2019, and that of 2018 was minus $111,004.60 budgets. Total cash at the end of the year period, that is the 354,992.28, that of 2019, and also 2018 592,294.97. Cash book balance of 2019 354,992.28, and that of 2019, and 2018 is 592,294.97. So okay, that is the statement. The management response, that is the page 31. Okay.
You are done?
Yes, I'm done.
The auditor will take care of that. You don't need to. 2019.
Yes, that of the 2019.
Auditor?
Honorable Chair and members, please refer to page 9 of the report.
Page 9
Page 7 rather.
or 7.
3.01.
Okay.
We have audited a company state financial statement of National Sport Council for the year ended 31st December 2019, which comprises of statement of receipts and payment for the year then ended, and the summary of accounting policies and other explanatory information set out on pages 8 to 23. The opinion reads, in our opinion, the accompanying financial statement present fair in all material respect. The statement of receipts and payments of the National Sports Council for the year ended 31st December 2019 in accordance with International Public Sector Accounting Standard IPSAS. Honorable Chair, please refer to page 31.
30.
1. (3.1.1) budget.
31. Okay.
The Council prepares its budget and sends it to the Ministry of Youth and Sports. However, approved budget amounts are not communicated to the Council, and the Council do not know how much is approved for them. Furthermore, the Council did not maintain a budget file. Correspondence relating to budget or expenditure of the Council were filed in the Ministry of Youth and Sport file. Implication: without an approved detailed budget, we will not be able to know how much was approved for the Council. Filing correspondences to unrelated file could lead to difficulty in tracing documents. Priority high recommendation: management and the Council should ensure that an approved detailed budget is provided to the Council. A budget file should be created to file budget expenditure correspondences.
Yes.
3.2.1
The
differences.
response
Yes.
No, you don't.
during the consideration, when we have queries, then you will be reacting.
Okay.
Okay.
3.2.1 differences in council allowances. Review of meeting minutes and payment vouchers showed that council members were paid different rates of allowances. According to the executive director, the payments of allowances were determined by the region the council members come from. However, no evidence was provided to justify the different rates paid to council members. Implication: without an evidence for the payment of the different rates on allowances to council members, it will be difficult to justify the different rates paid. Priority high recommendation: evidence on the different rates of allowances paid to council members should be provided for our confirmation. Auditors for the comment: no evidence was provided as at the time of finalizing the report. Payment of allowances to support staff. Review of payment vouchers revealed that support staff were paid allowances for attending council meetings. No justification was provided for the payment of allowances to support staff on council meetings. Implication: there is risk that payments were made without the justification. Priority high recommendation: evidence on the payment of allowances to support staff on council meetings should be provided for our confirmation. Honorable Chair, please refer to page 36. 3.4.1 bank reconciliations. We reviewed the bank reconciliation of the council and the following were noted. Reconciliation statements were not signed by the preparer and reviewer. Bank reconciliation was not prepared for the current and development accounts for December 2019. Bank reconciliation statements on the development account from March to December 2019 were not prepared. Bank reconciliation was prepared on the same page with the cash book. Implication: without an indication of a preparer and reviewer on the bank reconciliation, it will be difficult to determine whether bank reconciliations were prepared and reviewed. There is risk that errors and/or omissions will go undetected in the cash book and the bank reconciliation statements. Priority high recommendation: bank reconciliation should be prepared monthly. There should be a person for the preparer and reviewer for the bank reconciliation statement, which should be signed after preparing and reviewing. Auditors for the comment: the situation on bank reconciliation was regularized. page 38, 3.5.1, procurement plan. Acknowledgement letter was not received from GPPA on the procurement plan that was sent for 2019 procurements. Implication: in the absence of the acknowledgement letter, it will be difficult to determine if GPPA received the procurement plan. Priority high recommendation: management should ensure that acknowledgement letters are received from GPPA on its procurement plan. Honorable Chair and members, page 40, activity report. The activity report for 2019 was not provided for our review. Implication: the activities undertaken by NSC during 2019 will not be known, likewise the achievement and constraints during the year under review. Priority high recommendation: the activity report for 2019 should be provided for our review. Honorable Chair, that is the submission for 2019. Okay. Yes, please. Number 3 on repaid loan is not implemented.
Number?
Number 3 on the table.
Okay, 3.
Number 4 on paid affiliation fee not implemented. Number 5 training policy not implemented. And number 7 council meetings not implemented.
Thank you. GPPA 2019. Yeah, equally you can also summarize.
Summarize, okay. So I will just focus on the non-compliance issues, right?
Can you refer us to the page?
I will first refer to page 2.
Page 2, okay.
Whereby we have the specific objective of the procurement review. So to establish whether NCS adhere to general acceptance principle of economic efficiencies, equal opportunity, transparency, integrity, and fair and promotion to all local industry. To review the capacity of NSC to handle the procurement effectively, comments on the quality of the procurement contracting, identify reason for delay if necessary. To establish whether the adequate system are in place for procurement planning, implementation, and monitoring, and whether reliable documentation is maintained as required by the law. To make necessary recommendations for improvement in an action plan, which will be followed up within a specific time frame, to establish whether this improvement has been implemented. To determine the extent to which the NSC has obtained value for money in executing its procurement function. To assist in clarification of areas where the NSC may have misunderstood the procurement and the requirement and legislation. To determine the challenges faced by the NSCs in the implementation of GPPA Act. So that was the main aim of the audit. So I will refer you to page 4, the key document review during the period under review. So it was the annual procurement plan, the list of single source procurement transactions, the list of RFQ, the list of SPU and their qualification, procurement voucher, payment voucher, minutes of the contracts committee, list of contract committee members, and the mission and visions. So in the page 5, that's the procurement file, the total procurement proceeding for the year under review, that's 2019, they have the value of 583,101, and total review covered 58 transactions presented by the NSC. So I refer you to page 7, finding on the organogram, the non-compliance here. Page 7, finding or non-compliance. During our review, we observed that the specialized procurement unit has been established and is headed by the procurement officer. We also observed that the SPU is not directly reporting to the executive director, which could lead fraud and financial
and within both the revenue and the procurement department. The authority recommends the procurement department should be directly under the executive director to serve as an advisory towards the procurement matters. And there are many may respond. Can I read there are many may respond?
No?
Yeah. So they respond to that. So I should proceed, right?
Yeah, you proceed on your own.
Okay. So the chapter 2, finding, observation and recommendation. That's the function of the accounting officer. Page 8, page 7, the same page 7. But I will go straight to page 8 for the non-compliance issues. Yeah. However, there is non-compliance that were identified during the compliance review. The form 004 was not attached in some of the requests for quotation procurement transactions. No delivery note attached. No technical specification attached in the form 101. Evaluation criteria is the most, if no evaluation criteria, the most of the requests for quotations. Implications. Member can easily avoid responsibility when a misprocurement is detected. Transparencies can be compromised, could lead to conflict of interest. Recommendation. The director of NSC should ensure all the members of the contracts committee be formally appointed as the as of the contracts committee and also formally communicated. The contracts committee also appoint letters should be kept in the members' personal file. The contracts committee should be retrained on the procurement process. So there was a management response on that. Now to the function of the specialized procurement unit, page 9. Non-compliance issues. No evaluation report attached in the procurement transactions. No evaluation criteria stated in the form 101. Most of the requests for quotation are not administered in the form 101. So the implication is unreported procurement are eminence. The transparency and procurement process should be compromised. The recommendation, the SPU ensure any charge or adjustment in the procurement plan to be formally communicated to the authority. The SPU should ensure the increase in one of their 3 at least. All the procurement of fuel should be handled by the SPU. So the function of the contracts committee, non-compliance issues. Page 10. During the review, we did not have access whether any notification of letter to notify the successful supplier known to the unsuccessful suppliers. Examination and receipt committee established and also disposal committees not established. So members of the contracts committee can easily pull ahead when the misprocurement is detected. We recommend all suppliers need to be notified whether successful or non-successful. The function of the evaluation committee, non-compliance is that one is fine. Then examination and receipt committee. The Sport Council has not established examination and receipt committee as required by the Regulation 113, Regulation 134, 135, or 136. Implication: transparency of movement of item may be compromised. Absence of inspection and receipt committee can lead to receipt of wrong item. Recommendation: the NSC should establish examination and receipt committee to monitor and generate reports of the items that are proceed for the institutions. Now, record keepings, page 12. Recommendation of the activities report, non-compliance. The PO did not maintain a comprehensive and individual file for each of the program activities in accordance with GPPA Amendment Act 2018, Section 32, Subsection 2. In all the procurement files that were reviewed, we found that some procurement transactions from 101 were not completed, and the co-receipt fee note, examination and receipt note, amongst others, were not attached. Implication: the missing file may be difficult to trace. Proper assessment of the procurement record is a challenge. The lack of receipt in the procurement file may imply that the procurement is not completed. Recommendation: the PO should ensure training on the procurement record management to the staff and also the contracts committee. The PO should ensure all procurement transactions are filed. Files are kept with the SPU. Procurement planning. Page 13. Okay, the program planning, sorry, is it page 12? the National Sport Council do send their annual procurement plan to the authority as indicated in section 29, which detail the procurement should engage in procurement plan with a view of achieving maximum value for money in public expenditure or other objectives set out in the section 3 in accordance with the application budgetary procedures. So the annual procurement plan was submitted. So the non-compliance issue here is the specification. That's the same page 13. Finding from the review procurement proceeding, we have observed that all requests for quotation transaction does not have technical specs in the Form 101 as recommended in GPP Amendment Act. So the SPU, the National Sport Council, did not develop any technical specs in their request for quotation for the period under review. Single source transaction in accordance with the Procurement Act, GPPA Amendment Act 2018, Section 2025, subsection 1, 2, 3, and 4. Recommendation: the NSC should ensure specification is generated in each transaction to ensure competition in the procurement process as required in GPPA Amendment Act. So from there, we refer to page 14, value for money, non-compliance. The SPU does not undertake a market survey and analysis of the supplier's price in the market during the year being reviewed to inform the place order as required by the regulation. The SPU does not negotiate to get better offer as recommended by the regulation for single source procurement. Implication: no assurance of value for money. Recommendation: the SPU should encourage to undertake a market research and analysis of more of the preferable on a quarterly basis to be kept abreast of current market trend to inform the place of order. The SPU should negotiate for better offer for each single source procurement as required by the regulation. Contract management. That was not in here. So then page 15, other related matter. In the same vein, we also recommend the National Sport Council to enter into a framework agreement with supplier for fuel air ticket in order to address emergency situation as highlighted in the instruction part 5 and subsection 2, which state that the framework are contractual arrangement that can be inefficient or cost-effective, flexible meaning to procure goods, works, and services that the procurement organization send continuously or repeatedly over a period. In addition, we observe that the NSC did not present the signed approved budget for the year under review. The management should therefore concern for the issue highlighted and their willingness to implement the proposed recommendation. Conclusion: using the above compliance related variable for the period under review, National Sports Council to be 70% with no partial compliance with the Public Procurement Amendment Act 2018 and Certain Regulation 2019. Thank you.
Ends the presentations on 2019 reports. Now we proceed with the presentation on reports on 2020. To begin with, the Executive Director, from the activity report right down to all the reports as required. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chair. Like I had intimated earlier on, the 2020-2021 are being audited, in fact, are being finalized. And unfortunately, because of that, we can't present them here this morning. The account for the 2020 and 2021 are being finalized. In fact, we had an exit meeting with the auditors last week, Friday, so something like that. And those reports are being finalized, 2020, 2021. I'm sorry about that.
Talking of the financial statements, I want to believe that those reports have been finalized. How about the activity report?
Honorable Chair, we had an experience. There was a year that the financial statements were not ready, and we came with the activities report, and we were told there was no need for that we needed to bring the two. So given that experience, we thought we could just wait until this one is ready, then we can get all of them printed once and submitted.
About a month ago, I think there was a briefing session that was conducted here, and we were duly informed the procedure as far as the new setup is concerned. Perhaps you'll have brought to our attention what your current position is regarding whatever explanation or experience that you are talking of, so that if there is any need for clarification, that can be done. But I don't think you can take that as presumption that this was what used to happen, the same way also it will be business as usual. To hold it at that, and then you are expected to present the audit, the activity report, just that you had that experience that was then. I don't think that can be a fair position to say that will justify the reason why you have not brought the activity report. But we did not give you that green light that if you don't have the financial statements, no need to come with the activity report. You did not, and you did not even consult us to that regard. Prior to your coming, this is a situation, the request was made that you have to present all your reports. In fact, there was no update given regarding the situation you are in surrounding the financial statement as well. Only to come and then face us and tell us we are working on it. I don't think it's a fair position to the committee from your side.
I think the best thing I can do for now is to sincerely apologize on behalf of my team and assure you that things of this nature, God willing, will not happen again. While we wait for the financial statements, we can get the activities report submitted to this body then. Until no, I'm not sure we can submit soft copies. What we can do, no. Normally you submit before you come to present. It's better. Yeah, it is fine. We just said we wait until we get them, then we can send it. You know, we had that experience here sometimes. So maybe things have changed over time as well. All right.
Executive Director.
Yes. So I mean, like I have tried saying, you know, there is no need going around things. What I can do for now is to sincerely apologize on behalf of the team here with me and assure you that we will do everything humanly possible to ensure things like this don't happen again. While we wait for the auditors to finalize and whatever with the report, which we are very hopeful they have almost finalized, we can send the activities report for printing and probably send it over even before the auditors finalize or finish with the financial bit of it. If that is okay.
Auditor, can you give us an update?
Honorable Chair and members, indeed he is right. We had the exit meeting last week Friday, and we are currently working together on the further documentations that they provided for review. Once completed, we have to then issue a draft management letter and giving them at least 2 weeks for them to respond. And then after that, then we proceed to finalize the report.
Executive Director, according to the auditor, you'll be given at least 2 weeks to respond to audit queries. Is that okay for you?
Yeah, very well. In fact, that is too much.
That's too much.
Yeah, I can assure you.
But okay for now.
Yeah, sure.
Good. Now, if we are to give you 2 weeks to respond, and then they too will be working on the management letters, we'll give you mid-August to submit 2020 report or reports, both activity and financial statements. We don't want to receive them in piecemeal. But what was proper, you were supposed to present those reports. In the event you had one ready, you could have come and say, we have this ready. Unfortunately, this one is not available. We will tell you, no, go until both are ready. But you cannot just assume that if this is not ready, we'll hold on to this one. That was not proper. But equally, we will not receive the reports in piecemeal. And therefore, since there's that assurance that hopefully is adequate time, come August 15, the mid-August, we expect that you submit your 2020 activity and financial statements to the committee. Is that okay?
That's fine. Only that I was just going to check my calendar. August 15 may be a holiday.
It's just submission.
Oh.
It can be on or before.
Okay. Thank you. I mean, I can assure you we'll certainly do that. In fact, for the financial bit of it, we will be submitting for 2020 and 2021 as well.
For now, we are interested in 2020.
Just to show you how ready we are.
I mean, Honorable Chair, we want to ensure that we are realistic in the timing that we give. Looking at August 15th, in our view, may be too short to ensure that we finalize the report. Because the finalization normally takes back and forth, in the, especially with the financial statement. So we appeal to give at least additional week to that.
Okay. I think yesterday we were given September 8th for 2 institutions. Then equally we will expect to have more submission on the 8th of September. Then we pick you to 8th of September. Is that okay?
Thank you so much, Honorable Chair.
For the submission is now slated on or before 8th September. The date for the presentation will be duly communicated to you. We'll revise our calendar on that, and then that will be communicated to you. But for the submission, on or before 8 September 2020. For the consideration of 2019 reports, the one that we have just finalized, the presentation, that will go ahead with the consideration tomorrow. I think will be scheduled to appear on 10 a.m. tomorrow for the consideration of 2019 reports. Okay? Honorable members, do you have any comment? That's okay. In the absence of no other comment, your question on that will come during the during consideration. Don't worry, we'll have a lot of questions for them. Okay. So thank you for the presentations. We expect to see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. for the consideration. You are permitted to take a leave.
Thank you so much, and one more time, we sincerely apologize. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh. Yeah, we bring them, yeah. We just proceed. Where is it? Okay, National Youth Council